Big day in the Supreme Court today as it's going to hear the PILs challenging the release of the 11 convicts in the 2002 murder and rapes. Ahead of the crucial hearing, as per the Supreme Court orders during the previous sitting, the Gujarat government has filed an affidavit. And in what has come as a fresh piece of information, the submission states that the centre had approved the remission and the premature release of the 11 life-term convicts in the Bilkis Bano case on account of their good behaviour. This affidavit stated that the convicts had completed 14 years of sentence and were released as their behaviour was found to be good. This is likely to give rise to a lot of political controversy with reactions expected. This affidavit also notes that their release was opposed by the Superintendent of Police, the Central Bureau of Investigation, Mumbai, and the Special Judge of the CBI. So the 11 convicts had walked out of the Gujarat sub-jail, remember, on August 15th, after the Gujarat government had granted them remission from life sentencing following a Supreme Court order. The defence for the release has been that it was only following the prescribed rules and the remission as given. Let's get you the details of what the affidavit really says. What are the reasons that were given for the release of these convicts? Over to Amita.
All right, so this is the affidavit as far as challenging of the pleas in the Supreme Court is concerned over the release of those 11 convicts in the Bilkis Bano rape case. Now, the reason that is coming across is as far as what the Gujarat government has been saying, that they had obtained prior approval from the centre itself. Let's get you the second reason. They go on to say that 1992 rules made it applicable when it comes to the Supreme Court. So this is a remission policy which in today's date is outdated. Reason 3, the convicts had completed already 14 years by being in prison, and that is why another reason that had been given, that it was accordance with their good behavior that leniency was granted as far as their release is concerned. Reason number 5 that has been given as far as the justification of the release is concerned, that the petitioners opposing the release have no locus standi. So there have been petitioners in the Supreme Court today who have taken up the fight in the top court, saying that the release of the 11 convicts should not be done and should rather be taken back. The Gujarat government in its affidavit has been saying that as per law, all of the law, and there is a technicality that they have been saying that have been followed the now outdated remission policy.
Okay, all right. Now we have reactions already coming in, political reactions coming in, with the Congress representatives hitting out at the BJP over the release of Bilkis Bano rape convicts. Citing the Gujarat government's affidavit, they have said that while the Superintendent of Police, the CBI, had opposed the remission of the convicts, it was the BJP government that pushed for their release. Legal editor Harish Nair joining us on the broadcast. Harish, big day today in the Supreme Court. Going to have a lot of political ramifications. The Congress party has already hit out at the BJP over the affidavit that has been filed by the Gujarat government. Today, the Supreme Court is going to take up the pleas against the release.
Pratibha, Supreme Court bench led by Justice Ajay Rastogi will be hearing two petitions. That is one filed by social activist Subhashini Ali and the other by TMC Mahua Moitra, who have challenged the release of the 11 convicts in the Bilkis Bano matter. And as you rightly said, it's definitely going to evoke a lot of fireworks within the court, and already it has triggered a controversy outside the court also. Especially the comments that they are being released as per the rules, and because they had suffered enough 15 years in jail, and also to observe that their conduct was good. And who are these convicts? They are 11 convicts. They have 11 persons accused of convicted for not only gang raping Bilkis Bano, but also killed a 3-year-old daughter and also 7 relatives of hers. And this is the Gujarat government citing their good behavior and the fact that they have suffered enough as
good behavior and the fact that they have suffered enough as one of the reason. And the other points in the affidavit, they go on to justify the release, saying that they were empowered various provisions of criminal procedure code to release all these convicts once it is clear that once they are convinced as per procedure that their conduct was good and they had completed 14 years in jail as per the Gujarat remission rules, and once the Supreme Court had allowed them to use the 1992 remission rules, which in fact did not prevent them from releasing gangrape, rape and murder convicts. The state government was empowered to do so. And more importantly, as you rightly said, for the first time, the affidavit reveals that the center's consent was also taken as per the criminal procedure code, because the prosecuting agency involved in it is the Central Bureau of Investigation, which is a central agency. So the affidavit goes on to claim that the release was as per the rules, and the state government was empowered to do so. But this affidavit, the several annexures attached to the affidavit reveals much more. It goes on to even show that the release had taken place, the center had given approval despite the trial judge opposing, the CBI opposing, and also several activists opposing the release. In fact, the CBI had said that these convicts did not deserve any leniency given the fact that they have committed a very heinous and gruesome crime. Even the trial judge went on to say that this is a crime against the society, crime against humanity. Here are persons who have not only killed a small baby, but also a pregnant woman was gang raped, and also several others were killed. And since it is a crime against humanity, they cannot be released because it will send a wrong message to the society. So the reason for furor and the controversy is because despite all this, Gujarat government had secured the approval of the center, and so therefore the Gujarat government says that all rules are complied with, and in such cases what goes into is whether the proper rules procedure was followed, and there is no place for emotions and sentiments, and they have done what was required by law. They also say, the affidavit also says that these two persons, Subhashini Ali and Mahua Moitra, had no locus standi to file a petition in Supreme Court challenging the release, saying that in criminal matters, the third parties have no say, they have no locus, and they are two persons with political agenda. They have political mechanizations, and therefore there are several Supreme Court judgments which have said that in criminal matters, third parties have no locus. So these are the grounds cited in the Gujarat government's affidavit. We'll have to wait and watch what will be the stand of the Supreme Court when the matter is expected to come up in half an hour. Back to you.
Okay. All right, so just half an hour to go for that big hearing. Harish, like you mentioned, the affidavit very clearly says that the Superintendent of Police was also against it. Do stay on with us because a lot of political reactions also coming in. Mr. Atul Anjan is joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Anjan, the Gujarat government has filed an affidavit which says that the centre had given its assent for the release of the Bilkis Bano convicts.
Certainly, in Delhi, in centre, BJP is ruling. In Gujarat, BJP is ruling. During the BJP rule, Bilkis Bano became the victim. And certainly, because of the BJP ruled state Gujarat has given all sorts of the freedom to the accused. And hence, they are filing a affidavit in Supreme Court that they are innocent and whatever decision they have taken is according to law. But in the eyes of the world opinion, it is very shameful. A woman who has been raped by them, a woman whose whole family was killed by the rapists. The whole 11 people, they have been given a religious and caste stone by the government. I think it is a black spot on Indian democracy and secular practices and even humanitarian ground. One cannot accept the blamed arguments of the central government and the state government. And if the center has given, I think that the center has no right to save its face in the eyes of the world opinion and in the eyes of the people of India.
Okay. All right. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. I also want to bring in Mr. Majid Memon, who's joining us. Mr. Majid Memon, the affidavit says that the centre had given its assent and the reasoning was that the convicts had completed 14 years and that their behaviour in the prison was found to be good.
It is really shocking, the allegations against them. withstood.
Okay. Mr. Memon, we'll just come back to you in a bit. We seem to be having technical issues there. These are the reasons that had been given. The affidavit says that the centre had obtained the approval of the centre. This is what the Gujarat government has said in its affidavit. Before I come to Mr. Majid Memon, I just want to bring in Harish Nair as well, our legal editor. Just about half an hour, less than half an hour to go for that big hearing to come in. Before that, the affidavit has been given by the Gujarat government. Harish, this is going to have political implications in the poll-bound Gujarat. Mr. Memon is still with us. Mr. Memon, in the reasons, as we were telling you, the affidavit that the Gujarat government has given, the reasons say that the centre said that the behaviour of the convicts was good in the prison and that's why they must be released.
I'm so shocked to hear such thing from the government of Gujarat or even they're saying that even the central government.
That's right. In fact, the Gujarat government will have a lot of explaining to do and, the opposition has already been raising questions on BJP. The BJP, remember, had said that the Supreme Court has given its assent, so there should be no politics over the same. Legal editor Harish Nair continues to get us the details from the top court on the developments as it takes it up in just a short while from now. Let's shift our focus now to another big story.